This is Jake Thomas from Flint, Michigan. It's been a while since I made a video, mostly because I'm a born-again Christian now. I accepted Christ last year, February 6th. And it's hard for me to make a video about all the nonsense that's going on without cussing. It's so hard because I still get very angry. Now, granted, my temper is not even a fraction of what it used to be, but I'm still very passionate about the freedom of this country and the Constitution. That being said,
up to $300 when activating select smart.
It's becoming very hard not to make a video about all the nonsense that's going on. The race relations in this country were decent, if not great. Overall, I'm not saying there wasn't any racism, because there's always going to be racism, before Obama got in office. Now, I'm sure some people felt oppressed, and I'm sure there were some people that wanted to speak out that didn't, and that's because there still is going to be racism, and there was at that time, but not to the extent that it's at now. The racism in this country has elevated to a level not seen since 1960. And it's basically flip roles. Now, a long time ago, the government basically oppressed people of color. And, you know, that was horrible. That's absolutely horrible. You know, first they were enslaved. Then they were segregated, and then there was an unspoken separation, an unspoken segregation. So, an unspoken discrimination. So that was being slowly but surely eradicated due to the moral cleanliness of people in this country. You know, generally people are not racist. Generally people are not out to get you. Generally people are good people. You know, these racism manifestations are taught from a young age by the elders in that person's family or person's society. Now, that's how it used to be. So now, because of guilt, they have made affirmative action, which grants people jobs even if they don't qualify for the job based on the color of their skin. That is racism in its own form, just not against the same people. Like I said, it was slowly being eradicated, right? Racism was. And like I said, there's always going to be racism, so it can't be completely eradicated. It can't be, you can't live in a false reality where everybody's fine. It's just not going to happen. Now, what's going on is people are demonizing white people. And I saw this in 1995 starting to happen with affirmative action. It was racist against white males because we, supposedly, which we did for a long time, had the upper hand. But since the laws were enacted with the civil rights movement, they have slowly but surely becoming better and better and better. You know, people used to, until Barack Obama, who I voted for twice. You know, I was very excited to see the first black president. I was very enthusiastic about him succeeding and being a great president. And I was still it doesn't matter what I was, but the point being, when Obama became president, he kept pushing the narrative that black people were being oppressed, that they were struggling in the inner city because of the white man. They have been struggling in the inner city because of the Democratic Socialist Party. By giving them handouts, destroying the family, glorifying criminality, making it cool to have 7, 8 baby mama. You know, it's ridiculous. And when you give people handouts, they become they get used to getting handouts and used to not having to work, so therefore they become lazy. And I'm not saying it's black people. I'm saying anybody who gets free handouts for such a period of time will become used to the fact that they don't have to work, and they think that the government is there to give them a paycheck and the food in the refrigerator. It started with black people. The attack on humankind started in inner city urban areas, and now it's spreading everywhere. And it's horrible that that happened, because people have been duped, been tricked into believing that the Democratic Party is for them, the little guy, when in actuality it's not. Anyway, back to the racism thing. So now you have this anti-white this, anti-white that, anti-this. You know, it's sickening, because we were doing fine until Obama got in office and pushed the narrative that racism was alive and well. It was alive and well, but it wasn't well off. You know, there are secluded areas in this country where racism is very strong, and that's horrible. But you can't push your ideals on people through a persuaded agenda. And that's exactly what's happened. Is they've made a bunch of people feel that white people are racist and this and that. You know, it is horrible. It really is. So I judge a person on the statue of their character, on the level that they play on the field, by how a person acts compared to their core beliefs. You know, if you're a piece, if you're out there running amok and committing crimes and holding people up and selling dope and, you know, all this stuff, you know, you call a duck, man. That's what it is. If it's a white person doing it, you know, they're crap. If it's a Chinese person doing it, they're crap. If it's a black person doing it, they're crap. And that's how it is. If you're out doing that stuff, I want nothing to do with you. And that's the way it should be. You know, surround yourself with people who you view as being good people. and you yourself, if you're having trouble or whatever it might be, will follow suit. Now, I wish they would stop, they, meaning people who think this racism is alive and well, would stop pushing the narrative and stop making it worse than it already is. You know, it's so bad. It's so bad. You know, I got called racist for wearing a Trump shirt a while back at my gym that I go to. And that really struck a nerve with me. Even though I was playing right into the hand of the elites. And that's exactly what they want us to do. They want to divide and conquer. You know, instead of rebutting the remark with an intellectual statement, I got mad. I got real mad. And you know, I threatened the dude. And you know, I'm still a little bent out of shape over something like that. But I'm really trying to follow Christ, and that's now what God wants me to do. So anyway, just everybody, if you can, just take it for what it is. Take people for who they are and not what they look like. And you know, it's just what it is, man. And it goes on both sides. It goes both ways. It goes for white people and people of color. You know, we all have to do the same thing and judge a book not based on its cover, but the composition of its literature. Anyway, that being said, this is my first video in a long time, and I think I'm going to make more, because I don't think I cussed the whole video. Anyway, God bless you all.